Drive speed matrix work. RRECS uses the table to the left to calculate drive time on the basic route. The process starts with carriers locating mail stops and traffic control points when they map their routes. The RRECS mapping program stores these GPS locations in the Rural Street Database (RSD). RRECS computer code calculates drive intervals distances based on the GPS data and a road grid, in a process that works much like plotting a route on Google Maps. In RRECS, an interval is defined as the distance from one mail stop, traffic control point, or segment endpoint, right or left turn, new road name, etc., to the next mail stop, traffic control point or segment endpoint. The result of analyzing the mapping data is a listing of the route's intervals distances in consecutive order. Drive time for an interval equals distance times speed. The RRECS computer logic selects the appropriate speed for each interval from the drive speed matrix, DSM. For example, if an interval is bound by two mail stops 40 feet apart, the appropriate speed from the DSM is 0.00168 minutes per foot, 6.77 miles per hour, and the standard time for driving the interval is distance equals 40 feet times speed equals 0.00168, 0.0672 minutes, or about 4 seconds. If an interval is a mile long, say the distance from the post office to the first mail stop with no traffic control or segment endpoint in between, standard drive time is 5,280 feet times 0.00029 minutes per foot, 1.5312 minute, or about 92 seconds. The computer code repeats the basic calculation for each interval and adds all the interval drive times to arrive at the total drive time for the basic route. This procedure results in drive times that reflect the specific realities of each rural route. The DSM is also used to calculate total time for out-of-route driving for door deliveries and pickups. Once again, RRECS calculates these distances, and then calculates standard drive time from the distances and the appropriate DSM speeds. Evaluated compensation system PS4241M compared to RRECS. The chart on the following pages compares the current 4241M worksheet, commonly called the mail count calculator, and the corresponding new standards from the RRECS. The 4241M is shown in green. The standards listed under either the office time or route time columns are currently applied to the weekly averages obtained through a mail count. The corresponding RRECS standards are shown in the middle section. In many cases, there is not a one-to-one comparison. Please note that many of the standards applied in RRECS depend upon the carrier's input of data. The phrase 52-week average from carrier MDD input, which you will see repeatedly in the comments column, means that standard depends entirely on the carrier making an entry or a scan into the handheld scanner daily. The RRECS time for route miles is determined from the mapping of the route through use of the Rural Street Database, RSD, and uses the drive speed matrix and the traffic control points allowances to calculate the total drive time on the route. In RRECS, regular and central boxes are further subdivided. Within each subdivision, there is a standard based on the bundling system of the route. Very simply, routes that do not receive DPS letters or DPS flats fall into the one bundle category. Those routes receiving only DPS letters are considered two bundle. And those receiving both DPS letters and DPS flats are considered three bundle. Also included under box time is a new standard for verifying the address on each letter and flat delivered. These standards are applied to the total average weekly volume of flats and the total average weekly volume of letters. Please note that, for explanation, the standard is listed under both regular and central boxes, but it is only applied once to the total weekly average volumes regardless of where the mail is delivered. Loading time and the time for all required end-of-shift duties will be captured under RRECS on a daily basis. The evaluation will include the weekly average time for these functions. Parcels are credited in RRECS depending on the carrier input into the MDD scanner as to the location of the delivery, door, mailbox, or parcel locker. The location of the delivery triggers the appropriate standards to be applied. All walking distances within the office will be input via the Office Walk Distance database. The distances are defined and will be measured by local management and the carrier. Dismount walking distances on the street are input into the RSD. As in the current system, the standards for withdrawal time and USPS vehicle are only applied to the appropriate routes designated as performing withdrawal duties or having a government vehicle assigned. The reloading standards in RRECS are best illustrated by the included lookup tables, which simplify the standard by number of trays, estimated from mail volumes, and bundling system.